end around 2 p.m. 4 ballot boxes will be used, with each box assigned with specific electoral areas. All delegates will be given QR code-enabled tags bearing their details. Again, all delegates must come with an additional identification card, that's voter ID, Ghana card, membership plastic card, etc., bearing the name on his tag or identifiable with a name. Also, about 250 joint security forces will be deployed. All accredited observers shall be at the supporter stands of the stadium and shall not be allowed into the inner perimeter without approval. Again, candidates will present 4 agents each for the 4 ballot boxes, but only one of them will sign the collated sheet. Each candidate shall be given access to the inner perimeter accompanied by 2 accredited people of his choice. And all delegates shall not be allowed to enter the voting booth with their mobile phones. No candidate is allowed to transport any delegate to the voting center. No accompanying is allowed at the voting ground. And shortly, we'll be going to Tamale Central, where our correspondent Christopher Amoakon is on, and he'll be joining us very shortly. Ahead of that, the Education Minister Haruna Iddrisu is proposing that 2.5% of Ghana's oil revenues be dedicated to sustaining the no-fee stress policy. The initiative provides full academic free coverage for first-year students in public tertiary institutions to remove financial barriers to higher education. Speaking at a stakeholder engagement program, the minister said the policy has already responded to a critical social need, easing the financial burden on many Ghanaians. He urged collective support to secure the initiative's future, stressing that its survival should not rely solely on allocations from the Finance Ministry's national budget.
Initiative of the Mahama administration since he assumed the realms of power as President of the Republic. In fact, I'm convincing to the President that of all the social initiatives, the one I liked with you and with him, that I got good sleep, was a no-fees stress. Because of its felt impact on students, on parents, and even on the academic institutions themselves. Because I'm happy a number of our vice chancellors are here. Every year, students go through the stress. So to John Mahama, I want to say I go for ending the fees stress. The first year students. But at least today, without any fear of contradiction, we have responded to a social need of the Ghanaians. The Ghanaian parent and the Ghanaian student, President John Dramani Mahama, have responded adequately with the introduction of the no-fee stress.
And you had the Education Minister Haruna Iddrisu. Let's connect with Christian Yale. He's our reporter on that beat for us. Chris, what more did the minister say at this event beyond what we just heard?
And so Beatrice, talking about the fact that this is an intervention that has come to address the social need of Ghanaian parents and students, he is of the view that there must be a dedicated funding source for this policy, for which reason he makes the recommendation or proposal that the country should endeavor to dedicate some 2.5% of all oil revenues to the bursaries and to the funding of the no-fee stress policy, because he's of the view that, you see, one of the things is that when we talk about some of these policies and the funding thereof, they are largely based on how the legislative drafting goes. And so you can have a future government come and amend the legislation for it to change how it is funded and how it is done. And so Haruna Iddrisu is of the view that the country should endeavor to sustain this particular policy no matter what it is. And when you talk to education experts like Shata, for instance, they are of the view that it is a very good initiative that would help a great deal if it is well sustained. The minister is even of the view that going forward, we should have what we call the scholarships as well as bursaries authority that would supersede or that would oversee the disbursement of funds under the no-fee stress policy, and also to see the award of scholarship both within the country and for students of or Ghanaian students who travel abroad to have further studies.
And let's hear him speak about scholarships, and then we'll come back to conclude our conversation, Chris.
So I'm currently before Parliament on what we call the Scholarship Authority Bill. I see Honorable Shaibu, one of our fine draftsmen in Parliament. He learned modern drafting. I learned Estelle Affairs drafting. But I find my way sometimes to defeat him and win some clauses, even with my not well-trained mode of drafting. The scholarship bill in Parliament, the controversy is around the 2.5%. Everybody is thinking that rely only on get fund allocation. My honest view is that that is not adequate and that is not sustainable. But given the stress of the economy, maybe we can live with that. My thinking into the future, which I'm tabling before you to thoroughly examine for me as we discuss no-fee stress, is that can't Ghana and can't the John Dramani Mahama administration contemplate establishing a scholarship and bursaries authority for Ghana, which should be responsible for supervising and disbursing no-fee stress, and also responsible for the award of scholarship, both foreign and local.
And you heard the Education Minister, Haruna Iddrisu. So let's wrap up our conversation with Christian Yale. Chris, how crucial is this engagement? And if you can tell us what the Students' Loan Trust Fund has been saying.
And so following the launch of this initiative somewhere last month or so by the President in Koforidua, a lot of conversations have come up, especially around the funding, which we partly discussed. When you listen to other stakeholders like the Africa Education Watch, they are of the view, for instance, that government must endeavor to cover all costs for STEM students, such that if someone is admitted at the University of Ghana to read medicine, for instance, you don't pay part of his academic fees and leave the rest. Because the voice, when you listen to what the president said during the launch, he made that emphatic statement that government is going to look at the academic fees, what you call the admission fees. If someone is to pay 8,000 cedis to get into the University of Ghana and you pay 5,000 cedis, how do they get the rest to get access into the institution? And so Kofi Asare and his team from Africa Education Watch, for instance, believe that we must necessarily find money to, finance the education for the entry of these students or the beneficiaries, which is one of the key reasons why you have the stakeholders gathered here to look at all of those discrepancies and few of the challenges that have come with the policy so far, especially when you look at the validation issues. There are about 23,000 students who are facing validation issues, for which reason they have not been reimbursed. But the Student Loan Trust Fund, when you talk to Dr. Shiraj, she mentions that they've received about 300 million out of the 499 million cedis, and they've disbursed about 289 million cedis out of that amount to over 120,000 beneficiaries under this program. And so it means that they just want to dot the I's and cross the T's at this program and take the feedback to enhance it, even going into the next academic year. Beatrice.
Thank you very much, Christian Yale. He's our reporter covering that engagement by the Education Minister, Haruna Iddrisu, with some stakeholders on a number of issues. Let's go back to the northern region now. And I did tell you earlier about the NDC's internal election to select a representative for the by-election in that area following the demise of the sitting MP, Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, and the NDC's election is tomorrow. 12 individuals already contesting or expressing interest to represent the party during that by-election on the 30th of September. Christopher Mwako is our man following this. He joins us live on the line. Chris, I would say that just a few hours for us to go into this by-election tomorrow, expected to start tomorrow. What can you tell us?
So, Beatrice, I must say that the constituency is set for the primaries tomorrow. As it stands now, adequate preparations have been made. Over 200 police and other officers have been engaged. to be part of the process tomorrow. In the voting hall, 4 ballot boxes are going to be available for the 1,565 delegates to cast their vote. Voting starts 9 a.m. and ends 2 p.m. And so far, I must say that adequate preparations have been made. If you come to the constituency, the delegates as well as the 12 aspirants are all cheering up for tomorrow. The aspirants are going about engaging the delegates last minute. This is the time that some of the delegates will be grouped and the aspirants will meet them. They have so far done the one-on-one meeting. Now they are doing the group meeting ahead of tomorrow.
Chris, tell us about the atmosphere and indeed security as well ahead of tomorrow.
Yes, so various supporters of the 12 aspirants are ensuring that they support their aspirants to meet the delegates. If you get to the constituency, because of the circumstances surrounding the by-election, we are not seeing that much party activity, but what we do know is that people are going around meeting delegates and ensuring that they give them the necessary reasons why they should vote for them. Now, if you look at security, like I indicated earlier, over 200 security personnel, including police and other service personnel, have been engaged by the party to be present at the voting center tomorrow. Yesterday, the police service was supposed to brief the media about preparations ahead of tomorrow, but that meeting could not come on. So we are hoping that probably later today they will engage the media so that we know what modalities they are adopting ahead of tomorrow.
So, Chris, what I meant by that question was whether there is a visible presence of them even ahead of the election.
Well, for now, we are not seeing that security presence because the election is tomorrow and we are going to see the election at a particular point. So probably if there will be any security, it is going to be at the voting center. And we are told that some 250 security personnel have been engaged to be part of tomorrow's exercise.
Thank you so much, Christopher Amwako. He's our Northern Region correspondent, currently in Tamale Central ahead of the NDC's election to select a representative for the September 30 by-election. We go to the Ashanti region now because completed less than a year ago, the Denchamoso Chedia Road in the Achuma Nkwanguma districts of the Ashanti region is rapidly moving from bad to worse, causing a growing alarm among users. The current state of the road is raising serious concerns about its construction quality and long-term viability. Ibrahim Abubakar has been assessing the state of the road. He joins us live on the phone with some updates. Ibrahim, if you can first tell us how long and important this stretch of road is and the concerns of the users.
Well, Beatrice, this is one of the major roads that links Ashanti region and about 3 regions in the country. It links to Western North, it links to Ahafo, it links to Bono, and even to the Bono East region. So this road is to be more travel. There is no need to always rely on the main Sofo line, Ebuakwa stretch, to be able to access this part of the road. And also, apart from linking to other regions, it links to major food baskets within the area. Talk about Chedie, Fuansi, and other communities as well. And for that matter, it is very important in the region. And the government awarded a contract to construct a dual carriage from the Nchemozu to Chedie somewhere in 2012. Along the line, work was halted, even though there has been some minor works on it. Then, just in the lead up to the 2024 election, we saw a contractor coming back to site and working on the road. In fact, he cut the road. And as we speak, it's been about 10 months, and you go there, you see the state of the road. It's very, very deplorable. A lot of gullies have been developed on the road, and people or users are questioning whether this is even valuable for the money that we've used in constructing the road. And for now, even the travel time has worsened. Now, a journey of 20 minutes, you have to take an hour or even more to be able to move from one community to the other. So users are just calling on government to make sure that the contractor is brought back to the site to repair the road and make sure that it is more motorable for them. Let's listen to what some of them have been telling me.
I did tantabi road engineer because and look at traffic and as a sappy to be and papa
here to KGTI is just a 30-minute drive, but we spend over hours here getting to, and our cars are getting spoiled and everything. So please, Mr. President, we need your help. Come to our aid so that our road will be fixed very well. And I think we need to change the contractor. I don't know. He's not working so efficient.
Yeah, you could count me now what you back. I was so confident. Now was spraying Kakrebia or Thai, Kakrebia sea. A quinem wire crack.
And we heard that some road users are on that stretch that Ibrahim Abubakar is talking about, the Nchemoso Chedia Road in the Chuma Kwangoma district of the Ashanti region. Ibrahim, what have the authorities been saying about this?
Well, for now, we even managed to speak to the contractor on phone. He said he's not fully done with the road project. He's just awaiting some funds to be able to put on the asphalt. He said what he has done was a temporary measure, even though the residents were told that this was the final phase. But he has assured them that anytime the monies are released, he will return to site and complete it. In fact, I also spoke to the urban roads engineer, and they are also talking about funds. But the assurance they have also given is that by the close of the month, or latest by next month, the contractor will be made to go back to site and complete what he has already started.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim Abubakar. He's Ashanti regional correspondent. Now, illegally registered mining company risks a total shutdown after its concession at Anyachirim was violently seized by hundreds of illegal miners who continue to operate there with brazen impunity. The company, which insists it possesses all the required legal documents, says repeated appeals to state authorities have gone unanswered. Let's listen to this report brought to us earlier by Ibrahim Abubakar.
This is what a lawful investments look like under siege. At the Anyachirim concession, legally secured by mining and construction services in 2020, large-scale operations have been replaced by chaos. Since May this year, hundreds of illegal miners have invaded the site, operating with what can only be described as stunning impunity. The company's management says the invaders have not only defied orders to leave, but are allegedly justifying their actions by claiming the recent change in government has given them a new right to mine here.
A project that is designed to become the next game changer for the people of this area, apart from Amuru Ashanti, is being brought down to his knees. And we think that this is the best option for Ghana government, for the community, stakeholders, all alike, chiefs and everybody. And so this is not a project that should be allowed to go by the way of Galamsey.
And the Amwes frustration stems from what he calls a complete failure of the state apparatus tasked with protecting legitimate businesses.
I believe in state institutions working. Okay? This issue has been reported at some right quarters. Now we know that the president has an anti-illegal mining operation. Okay? That has been established. He has put in systems and men to work for him. So why shouldn't I go to those systems and men than try and worry the gentleman who has all the nation's problems on his head?
As the excavators continue to dig without permission, the call for government intervention grows more urgent. For now, the machines here are still running, but for the rightful owners, it is a sound of loss, not profit. Attempts to get a reaction from the Obuasi Municipal Security Council have not been successful.
Ibrahim Abubakar filed that report from the Ashanti region. The need for a legal framework to regulate organ harvesting and transplantation in Ghana has sparked intense debate. Governance expert Professor Enoch Opoku-Antwi has expressed concerns that Ghana may not be ready for a legal framework governing organ donation and transplantation. He says that most members of parliament are preoccupied with political issues and are not prioritizing this critical matter. Despite this, he emphasized the importance of encouraging citizens to donate organs.
I don't think we are ready with the legal framework because I did not see individual members of parliament. And that boils down to how we select individuals. It's not everybody who goes to parliament, Joe. We just pick people who have money and can pay, and then we just take them to parliament. People bring individual bills. As a member of parliament, you go and select for individual bills on a thorny issue. Now, based on that, you talk to the expert, like the doctors and those involved, and then you have the framework with the lawyers and everything. You draft it, and then you go lay it on the floor of parliament. They debate. So it starts from the individual bills, and it goes to the parliament that they debate, and it becomes, a bill, and then the president has sent to, then it becomes a law. But what are the individuals MPs doing in terms of these things? They are not studying individual bills. Or that they go and say, sometimes they don't show up. They go sit and then debate about political issues, just thinking about their political parties. But the people that send them there want them to work on some of these issues about the transplant.
And he had the governance expert, Professor Enoch Antwi. Meanwhile, lawyer Abraham Amaliba expressed concerns about the potential misuse of a law related to organ donation, suggesting that people might exploit it for personal gain. Instead of passing a law, Mr. Amaliba recommended establishing a fund to support individuals who genuinely require organ transplants.
I don't trust my people. I don't trust my people at all. I am told that in some countries, you can actually get hemo pass in their bucket. I don't want to mention those countries. I don't want that to be happening here. Already we have ritual killings in this country. If we pass this law, and you see, we're going to pass a law to make planting of weed legal, isn't it?
Yeah, for industrial purposes.
Industrial purpose. And you saw my people, they were jubilating. They didn't know that it was just for medicinal purpose. So please, I can understand what the doctor is saying, but I think that we should hasten slowly. We should hasten slowly. Let's create a fund. There's plenty of money there. It's not every... how many Ghanaians suffer from those? It's just few people. That fund should be able to deal with such requests. And we can leave it for another day, and we'll come back and talk. But for now, my people are not the kind of people that, if this law is passed, will be able to control some of their illegalities. I think we should hasten slowly.
We should hasten slowly. You had Abraham Amaliba. He's a member of the governing NDC's legal team. Now, the Western region, with a population of over 2 million, does not have an intensive care unit, a gap that remains a major dent in its public health system. Patients in need of critical care are often transferred to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital or facilities in other parts of the country, a situation that has, in many cases, cost lives. To address this challenge, the Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson has launched a public solicitation to raise some 3 million Ghana cedis for the establishment of the first ICU at the Takoradi Hospital. Irama joins us with some more. Irama, this sounds serious. Just talk to us about how this is affecting critical health care delivery in the region. I believe you've been speaking to the medical superintendent.
Indeed, it is a very serious situation here in the Western region. Western region is basically a producing area, so we have a lot of industry here. When you go to the Tapa Enclave, you go to Pristia, Uni Valley, along all the mining companies. All of these make the region very vulnerable, but there's a situation that we do not have an ICU. When there is a need, people are usually transferred to Cape Coast, and the cost of even sending a relative from here to Cape Coast, the hazardous route. Apart from that, at times patients get there and there's no bed, so they have to be referred further on to Greater Accra region, and this is dangerous. So the call for the ICU is very, very timely. I have been speaking to the medical superintendent at the Takoradi Hospital, which has provided a room to facilitate the ICU.
Patients requiring ICU care usually have to be flown to Accra. The nearest place we have is Cape Coast, but unfortunately, most of the time the beds are full. So critically ill patients who require ventilation, who require very close monitoring, such patients are managed on the ward, which is very unfortunate. And most of the time we lose such patients because if a patient requires that you support his or her respiration and the only thing you are giving him is oxygen, it might not be enough. You might need a ventilator that can help the patient breathe better. ICU is the best place to take care of such a patient.
And Irama, if you're able to tell us which facilities the minister intends to put these ICUs?
The Western Regional Minister, Joseph Nelson, is hoping to facilitate a 2-bedroom ICU center at the Takoradi Hospital. And this has been projected to cost 3 million cedis. And he is hoping to raise the funding through appeals to corporate organizations, individuals, the general public. For the onset, he actually launched this project and he himself has donated 100,000 cedis, and the Dean of MMDCEs have also donated 10,000 each to add to it. So it is open to all.
We'll have to end it here. Thank you very much, Irama Smith. And she's our Western Regional correspondent. Thank you very much for joining us on the Midday News here today on True FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. Log on to srinews.com for more news. Coming up shortly is Business Daily with Bismarck Ausa.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Business Daily on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck Ausa. Coming up this afternoon, Bank of Ghana suspends 5 international money transfer operators, citing unauthorized dealings with UBA Ghana and fintech partners over breaches of inward remittance guidelines. We'll bring you details. And Chartered Insurance Institute of Ghana, CIIG, warns unethical insurance practitioners risk delisting and blacklisting as institute pushes for charter. We'll hear from President of CIIG, Solomon Lati.
We are getting a charter, and once that is done, regulation, if you like, of insurance professionals will be a lot more stringent.
These headline stories and others lined up for you. Please stay. Thanks for your company. Now to the details. the Bank of Ghana has suspended the remittance partnerships of 5 money transfer operators for 1 month, effective September 18, 2025. In a statement, the central bank cited regulatory breaches linked to their settlement bank, UBA Ghana, and some payment service providers. The move, the bank says, is part of efforts to safeguard the integrity of Ghana's foreign exchange market. There is more in the following 3 Business News Desk report.
The central bank says, effective September 18, 2025, the affected operators TapTapSend, Top Connect, Remit Choice, Send Up, and AfriX will not be permitted to undertake remittance transactions for 1 month. According to the bank, the sanctions follow breaches of its updated guidelines on inward remittance services. The infractions involved unauthorized activities carried out with payment service providers such as Helges Financial Technologies, Cellulant Limited, and Flutterwave through their settlement bank, UBA Ghana. The Bank of Ghana explained that the operators will only be allowed to resume remittance activities after their partners reapply and are approved following the suspension period. Meanwhile, the central bank has cautioned all players in the foreign exchange market to strictly comply with applicable forex regulations and guidelines. The development comes at a time when inward remittances remain a vital source of foreign exchange inflows for the Ghanaian economy, supporting households and contributing to the stability of the local currency.
And that was a 3 Business News Desk report on Bank of Ghana suspending forex trading license of UBA, as well as 5 international money transfer operators citing unauthorized dealings. Moving on, President of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Ghana, Solomon Lati, has cautioned that insurance professionals who engage in unethical practices risk being blacklisted and delisted from the industry. At the 5th edition of the CIG Awards in Accra, he revealed that the institute is collaborating with the Ministry of Education to secure a charter which will give it stronger regulatory powers to strictly enforce professional standards. According to him, once this charter is obtained, practitioners who fail to uphold ethical conduct will lose their licenses and be unable to practice insurance.
Once the knowledge and understanding of insurance is improved, then professionalism comes to the fore. But sometimes, because people don't even understand the rudiments of insurance, selling it as it is becomes a problem. So there's a lot of mis-selling and misunderstanding, what I call the sins of insurance agents and insurance salespeople that we are trying to, like I mentioned, exercise from the system. But the NIC has been at the forefront of sanctions, mainly to companies. But the CIG is the one to sanction individuals and to blacklist you or to delist you from practicing insurance. And let me tell you this, we are working with the Ministry of Education. Thank you to the Minister of Education, Haruna. We are getting a charter, and once that is done, regulation, if you like, of insurance professionals will be a lot more stringent. So if you don't do the right thing, you'll be delisted. You'll not be able to practice insurance in Ghana or anywhere. But if you do the right thing, we'll recognize you like we have recognized others here.
And that was President of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Ghana, CIG, Solomon Lati. Meanwhile, CIG Insurance Professional of the Year and Managing Director of Serene Insurance, Messina Koshi Wampon, has urged the industry to prioritize business continuity over concerns about the sector's low penetration, which currently hovers around 1% of GDP. Speaking to 3 Business, she stressed the need to focus discussions on the value of claims paid and the industry's contribution to sustaining businesses in Ghana and supporting overall commercial growth.
I think the industry's focus should not be about contribution, 1% contribution, but the contribution to ensuring business continuity in Ghana. We have to start talking about how much claims, how much we are contributing to the survival of industries within Ghana, how much we are contributing to the growth of commerce within Ghana. Because when it comes to marine trade, we are an importing company. We also do export. Insurers are insuring exports so that when exports go wrong, the farmers, the exporters have something to rely on. We are not talking about those things. So we are looking at increasing the penetration, yes, but it's about ensuring that there is business continuity across the various facets of the Ghanaian industry.
Messina Koshibwampo is the CIG Insurance Professional of the Year and Managing Director of Serene Insurance. This is still Business Daily on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck Ausa. To some other story, the Land Surveying Division of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors is urging professionals in the sector to sharpen their competencies to play a stronger role in Ghana's development. This came up at the 2025 Annual Conference and General Meeting held in Cape Coast. The conference, on the theme Enhancing Land Surveyors' Competencies for Sustainable National Development, brought together surveyors, policymakers and traditional leaders to deliberate on how the profession can drive progress in infrastructure, land governance and environmental sustainability. Ogwaman Hene Osabari Makwesiata II, in an address delivered on his behalf, underscored the importance of accurate land surveying to peace and development.
Sometimes, as chiefs, we rely on land surveyors who sometimes mislead us in the technical part of democracy. We will need to abide by the fidelity of the profession, which is honesty in our dealings.
Chairperson of the Land Surveying Division, Surveyor Engineer Dr. Tina Jigbodi Wemega, called for a redefinition of the role of surveyors.
The future of land surveying in Ghana depends on our readiness to embrace innovation and uphold professional excellence and place national development at the heart of our work.
And that report brings us to the end of Business Daily on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck Ausa. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. Urban Blend is next with Black Rasta. Please stay.